Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining Typical Sim Space Flight. And today's flight we're going to be testing the XShip. Now the XShip is going to be a two-stage launch vehicle which is totally reusable. And now this first stage, as you can see here, is not actually the first stage. This is going to be the stage 2. Now this is the part that's going to come back from orbit. And the way it's going to do that, it's going to belly flop with the use of drogue chutes, and for main chutes it's going to hopefully land horizontal in the sea for a nice soft belly flop. Now this stage, as you can see, it has got quite a few tiles on it. Now they are heat shield tiles, and this continues all the way around this cargo ship, because yes, that is right, this is a cargo stage, where as you can see on the left hand side of the overview for this stream, you can see there's something called the cargo test. Now this is because today we want to test the cargo doors and make sure they are rotating the correct direction, make sure they're able to rotate, and that all the actuators are moving correctly. Now this is just a prototype. It could go wrong, it could go right, we don't know yet. And obviously this second stage, as it's a second stage, the engine is severely underpowered, so it might not even get off the ground. We will see in today's test. But anyway, let's get started. Just waiting for the call out for the countdown here. Guidance is go. Weather's green. Yep, continue countdown. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. We'll clear the pad. So as you can see there, we are clear of the pad today. So it's actually getting off the ground. That is a plus. That is the most that we're hoping to get out of this test. It's slightly deviating, of course. It shouldn't be heading that direction, but it is safe. It's going to be heading over the sea, so we are, I think, going to let the test carry on. Yeah, I've just heard word that we are going to let the test carry on. So next part of this test will be the pitch maneuver, where we will be pitching over to head more north over the sea, and this will test the reaction control systems on board this second stage. Speed's good. So as you can heard there, there's a continue call out, which means we are continuing with this space flight today. So there it is. You can see the craft is trying to pitch over. It's using the gimbal of the second stage to try and pitch over. So you can hear there's trying to counteract that roll, but currently having a few issues with the roll. Now the roll is controlled by reaction control wheels on board, so there may be a slight problem with them. Hopefully that could be rectified for an actual test flight, which it will be. So the next call out is going to be MECO, which is main engine shut off. Now this MECO. There we go. And as I was just saying, it is just being called out there. So now the spacecraft is just flying freely. We're just taking a look at some other camera angles there. One is inside the cargo bay. So that is going to be our next test, opening the cargo bay door once we reach Apoapsis. which should be very shortly. Cargo test. Negative. Try again, please. Negative. So it looks like we have had a malfunction of the cargo bay door. We will not be able to move it today in this test flight. All the other systems seem to be good for recovery. So as stated at the start of the stream, recovery will be 4 drogue chutes coming from, as you can see here, there's slight outcrop on the craft, which is going to be 4 drogue chutes and 4 main chutes. The 4 drogue chutes will deploy at a very high altitude just to stabilize the craft and make sure it's coming in horizontal on a belly flop. Then once it gets to a certain altitude, it will cut the drogues and open the mains. Hopefully slow it down to a reasonable safe speed. Arm shoots. Drogues armed. So the drogues are armed. They should. Oh, there we go. As you can see, they've just shot out of the spacecraft. Hopefully this is going to orientate it in the right orientation. Mostly horizontal. It seems to have corrected that roll problem we had. So once the craft is belly flopped into the sea, we will be able to recover it via our sea vessel. This craft will not be reused. This is purely just a test. And the reason today this camera is mounted at that angle on the engine is just to see if this engine submerges into the sea. The way the chutes are and the way the vehicle is balanced is to make sure that engine is lifted out of the sea once it lands. We want the least amount of water possible on that rear engine there. In chutes good. Arm. So we are arming the main chutes now. Switching them camera angles just to give better viewing pleasure. Fingers crossed these 4 main chutes deploy, because once the drogues are cut, that is it. Full good. Positive. So there's the 4 main chutes they have deployed. They will take a little while to open fully and regain orientation on the craft. Once the chutes have opened fully, it will orientate the craft in the right roll orientation for landing. And there we go. So there we go. Today we have got a successful deployment of our drogue chutes. Hopefully this craft is going to land softly enough in the sea where it does not damage anything on board. That is our main goal now that we've gotten this far in the test. Splashdown. Confirm. Get location. Locked. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have splashed down the second stage of XShip. And as you can see on the camera, that engine is staying out of the sea, which is exactly what we were hoping for. So that concludes the test today. We had a little few failures, but they will be fixed on the next flight, and hopefully you can join us back in the next flight where we'll be testing the first stage of XShip. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again.